morning, I'm cycling in the west of the west. That's Pulau NTU, and heading up north to try something new. I wanted to visit JB Central for Car Free Sunday at 7 am, but the monsoon surge in the early morning made it difficult to do so. I'm missing the sunshine that Singapore usually has, and the change in weather has been making me a bit more moody. So with rain clouds clearing up today, I think it's a good time to go for a bike ride. But whether it would remain cloudy for the whole ride, I'll find out soon. The forecast in the morning said that there's a 60% chance of rain, but on the bright side, that means there's 40% of cool and cloudy weather. Sunday cycles are generally pretty relaxing. There's little car traffic in the morning and more people cycling. And this presence of people cycling helps drivers be more cautious. Safety in numbers, the more the merrier. In the northwestern area of Singapore with little high-rise developments, it gets cool at night with temperatures dipping to 25 degrees Celsius when the rest of the island stays at 27 or 28. Cycling after a long downpour, it feels like 24 degrees. And thankfully, I brought a bottle of hot water so that I can stay warm. Here we have the oddest placement of slip lanes. I've seen many that connect expressways and major roads, but the placement of this is very questionable as it shaves off a few seconds of car commute time to a cemetery. This is Old Choa Chu Kang Road, one of the roads that have retained its geometry since it opened decades ago. I'm now passing by its 15th milestone and heading east to Choa Chu Kang New Town. And being an old road, it winds and curves naturally with the land, with 5 gentle hills to Sungai Tengah. The morning traffic here is actually really peaceful, so I could just enjoy me time with my bicycle and the sound of my internal gear hub. There are lots of cyclists who use this route, hence there are many cyclists ahead signs. But if there's a bike lane here, that would make travelling here much more accessible. Passing under the flyover, we enter Choa Chu Kang town. And I'm stopping by its central area to exchange currency. I ran out of Malaysian ringgit, so it's a halfway mark to rest my legs. The station is undergoing renovation for the upcoming Jurong Region line, which I like to call the Jurong line. I'm not sure where to find the money changer. Time to talk to someone. And with the help of station staff, I'm on my way. Near Choa Chu Kang MRT, there's a library that's relatively new and quiet, tucked away on the upper floor of the shopping mall. I hope to visit it sometime soon. And for a water refuel, I couldn't find one at the bus interchange, which is rare. But the bus captain saw me and helped me to get a refuel in the staff room. I cannot remember his name, but I'm thankful. Small moments of kindness like this do stick around. Heading up north and entering the town of UT. Commonly viewed as one of the quaintest HDB towns, it used to be a place for oil storage during World War II, hence its literal translation meaning oil pond. There's a shortcut in the residential area to get to a long nature trail that runs from north to south. And making a turn to Stagmont Ring, a small stop in the street directory. Historically, it was a north-south road which closely followed Sungai Pangsua and connected to inner roads like Lorong Bistari, Chembol, Keduang, and Kebasi. Past the river, turning left to the rail corridor. Formerly a meter gauge railway, this path once connected Woodlands to the city via 2 alignments, for 20 years, to Tank Road via Bukit Timah Road, and since 1932 to Tanjong Pagar. After discontinuation of service in 2011, it's a public trail with the southern half paved and the northern half in grass, mud, and whatever on the ground. Travelling on a 100-year-old path that ferried people through and from KL, it feels kind of surreal. And because it's raining, the whole path is mine. Accompanying me along the way is the rail corridor's own coffee shop, serving puddles of kopi peng, teh peng, and milo peng. Navigating through the grass and mud was quite an experience as my bike is definitely not made for this kind of terrain, but it handles fine. The bike frame, however, soaks up all the goodness that the trail has to offer like a sponge. Looks like it's yuan yang near the crank. Far from shiny and clean, but it's okay. As long as I'm happy, that's all that matters. In Mandarin, it's 开心就好. In Singlish, happy can already. Passing Gali Batu, this is Sungai Kadut Road, where a level crossing once stood. And a small wooden outhouse was once here, for railway workers to take a break from the outdoor sun. I find something magical about being surrounded by greenery with no traffic noise. Just me and my bike on the dirt path. There's this gentle nudge in the air that reminds me not to rush through everything, take things a step at a time, and be in tune with my soul. Feeling the breeze on my skin and the rumble of the ground, it opens a vent, flushing out stress and worries, replacing them with wholeness, hope, and empathy. A perfect time to recharge before hitting the big roads again. With the MRT rolling above, the rail corridor is coming to an end. As further north, the track near Woodland Station remains operational for now. I've crossed the causeway many times by train, bus, and on foot, but I haven't tried doing so on a bike, so today, I'll make it happen. Cycling into JB is a little tricky, but it can be done. To cross it, head left to the checkpoint in the car lane. Then, cross over to the motorcycle lane where a gap appears. Look out for manual counters that accept bicycles. Then ride down the many speed humps before exiting the Singapore checkpoint. Cycling across the causeway is usually the fastest way to get across. There's no need to squeeze on the crowded bus, and nothing beats the feeling of cycling past congestion. Crossing the yellow box into Malaysian territory. And a quick water break before the viaduct. Buses travelling down the bus lane reminds me of the BRT rides I had in Jakarta. Smooth and zipping past all the cars. It's quite a bit of a workout climbing up the ramp to the Malaysian checkpoint. After immigration, there's a fork in the road where heading left brings you to the city centre, a rest stop to lepak. The monsoon weather fascinates me sometimes. It was raining in Singapore, yet in Johor Bahru, it's cloudy. Guess I'm lucky, the rain clouds couldn't clear immigration. I shall take back that statement. It's drizzling again, but I'm optimistic. Passing cloud journey. The immigration officer said both ends were pretty surprised and interested in where I cycled from. They shared it's rare to see people cycling into Malaysia. More so for a city bike. I guess my bike is the special vehicle today. Heading down Jalan Buong Avok, the entrance to the city centre. The old city is beautiful, with plenty of coffee shops lining the eastern half, with cafes on the western side. And travelling by bike helps me avoid the crowd at the shopping mall. There are a few mamak places around here, and I'll be stopping by a coffee shop along Jalan Meldrum to get lunch. Today, my tummy is desiring a bowl of curry mee and a cup of hot Milo. Just in time to keep me warm. And doing what I love, urban sketching. Places where people gather and chat with each other are just so welcoming, and being surrounded by human connection is lovely. For watercolor, I'm going for cooler tones to match the rainy weather today. Cycling in JB seems to be a novelty. I noticed that my bike catches people's eyes when I cycle past. At the table beside mine, a few elderly gentlemen, uncles, asked where I got my bike and how I cycled to the city centre. Upon finding out that I came from across the causeway, they were stunned and said that they would have a go if they were younger. The conversation went along the lines of, "Wow, ah boy, you're so healthy. Must be a long journey, sia." While having lunch, we had a chat about local politics and everything under the weather before heading separate ways. Being a few hours late to the party, car-free morning isn't happening right now. But with the congestion, this street is definitely a safe 30 km/h zone. And this is one of the streets that will be open up to pedestrians during car-free Sunday. Johor Bahru has some bike lanes painted in blue. These are on the left side of the road, but can switch sides and be occupied by cars. I love how compact the streets are here, providing a sense of enclosure travelling down the road. And you know what JB does better than Singapore? They have raised pedestrian crossings across side streets for pedestrian safety. That's fantastic. This is Jalan Dobi, a small street that's filled with cafes and ice cream stores. Sloped upwards on an incline, I think the view at the top would be nice. And guess what? I met a fellow musician who travelled south to JB for a retreat.
I met this guy from Singapore. He came by to Johor Bahru, to our homeland with his bike. It's so dope, so damn cool. Do follow his social media, do check him out. Have fun in Johor Bahru, come by. Do cycle by, do come walk by, man. Come by our street.
Thanks so much, man.
Hey, no worries.
That was fun, and time to get some coffee. Needing caffeine for the ride back, heading to a cafe. Glad that there's one serving matcha latte and its name is Offie Cafe. That's coffee without the C at the front. It has a pretty charming vibe and I got a water refill, just nice for my return trip. And the matcha is tasty. Before the long journey back, I'll be making one final stop for pastry, an egg tart for post-ride fuel. Just like bike commuting in Singapore, it will be in the milk crate for the long ride. There are some other nice streets that I want to check out, but I'll have to head back to collect the parcel. I just have 1 hour and 30 minutes to get back to NTU, so wish me good luck. I'm not too sure about how to cross the causeway back to Singapore, so I'm heading the way I came. Left to Jalan Jimkui after the climb, a road where buses get stuck in traffic during peak hours. Looks like they get stuck during off-peak hours too. Thankfully, a condo security personnel helped me out with directions and I'm on my way. I wanted to record the journey back, but my camera ran out of battery. So the return journey on the causeway was a little scarier, with the motorcycle lane right next to the KTM tracks. I was also a little unlucky to encounter a sudden downpour along the causeway that didn't help with reduced visibility. And the speed of motorcycles zipping past at close distance made me fear for my safety. If you ever encounter a chaotic situation like this, take deep breaths, focus on what's around, stay grounded, and carry on. But will that experience stop me from cycling into JB? Well, I would happily do it again. The crowd level in the bus next to me is a nice notch. 10 minutes down Woodlands Road is a branch of 13 Milestone, where heading left on Mandai Road leads to Nee Soon. If not for time constraint, I would have gone there, but that will be for next time. Passing through Stagmont Ring, UT, and here's Choa Chu Kang, the halfway mark. After checking the street map, I'm trying a different route, via Avenue 4 to avoid the Jurong Line construction. With lesser traffic, it looks like this is a safer route, which I can use more often. At this point, I just realized that I accidentally flew over a few humps while exiting the checkpoint. Wonder how my matcha latte is doing. Oh, yikes. Looks like I have things to wash today. Mixed with rain from 2 countries, it sure is matcha latte istimewa. I'll get one that's ikat next time though. Crossing under Lam San, leaving the civilization of Choa Chu Kang, and returning to Old Choa Chu Kang Road. This place will look different in a few years' time, with trees cleared for an expressway entrance to Forest Drive. But this winding road will still stay. My bike is making a bit of a creaking sound, so pulling over to see what's going on. Bad news is, the screws supporting the left side of the rear rack have fallen off. But that's okay. The other support is still intact, and I'm 15 minutes away from NTU. Trusting the remaining screws for the last bit back. Almost there. And here's the collection van. Made it just in time. With the bike soaked and dirty, it's time for repair and maintenance care. What I like about bicycles is that they're relatively simple in terms of construction, and my trusty toolbox is all I need to fix parts. Wet and dry cloths to wipe down the bike frame and get the remains of matcha latte out of the crate. And for my kickstand that's getting loose, it just needs a bit of tightening with an Allen key. For a post-ride treat, I got a slice of peanut waffle and had an egg tart from JB. And it's true that food tastes better after cycling. Going out for a bike ride in the middle of the monsoon season reminds me of how little things around me can bring me so much joy. From the bus captain helping to refill my bottle, to the immigration officers and security who help me with cycling directions, the uncles who I chat with at the Kedai Kopi, to meeting a person who's fascinated with my bike. The sweet taste of matcha after a long cycle, the awe of being surrounded by trees and nature, and you know what? Even cycling in the rain. It's the small, everyday moments that often bring me great joy, and I hope that you'll find joy in little things too. Thanks for joining me on my bike ride, and have a good morning!